It's hard to believe it is already Tuesday. We've got a big week ahead. We have been working like fiends. So when we were at the Wildwood RV show the end of last season, we actually made contact with a small specialty camper company from California. And over the winter, we spent a lot of time talking with them and negotiating and that sort of stuff. And they decided to have their East Coast, their first ever East Coast rally here at Wading Pines Camping Resort in New Jersey, Chatsworth, New Jersey. So we're excited. So we've been planning all week. We've been getting the beach, not the beach, we've been getting the river sites all cleaned up and ready for this event. They're actually flying somebody in for their group who is a Pine Barrens specialist, and they are going to go on an extensive tour through the Pine Barrens on Saturday. I'm gonna see if I can go along. I hope to learn something. I'm excited about this. I'm going to show you the area that they're coming into, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the events they've got going on and all the fun things I think they're going to be happening this weekend. We've got like a 50s band coming in for dance night. I think it's going to be a great weekend, but they've got 19 of these specialty campers. They're little things, kind of like casitas, but they start at like $40,000. They've got like all this onboard solar, and hopefully we'll get to see some. If not, I've got a tour of their HC1 that I did at the Wildwood RV show. I'll try to remember to link it at the end of this. You can get a quick tour of one of their campers. They're absolutely amazing. Today, Cindy and I are going to try to take a half day off. But first, I've got to go mail some stuff back to the corporate office. So we're going to run into Chatsworth for the little post office they've got there and drop this off. And then I think Cindy and I are going to go to Hamilton and do some running around. Join me for the day. I'm going to stop by the office first and pick up this envelope that needs to be mailed to the corporate office, and then we'll head into Chatsworth. All right. I meant to mention this from last week's video. Thank y'all for everybody who went in and bought one of our cookbooks. Looks like we had 2 or 3 people. I'm assuming that from watching that video, because right after it went live, we did get on Amazon a couple of cookbook sales. So thank y'all for that. I will leave that link in the pinned comment and down below. And I also wanted to let you know that we have our Sharing the Journey stickers are live and for sale. We put them on eBay. We had them on Buy Me a Coffee, and I could never get the part where you put in your address to show up, and people were having to email me when they wanted a sticker. So I lowered the price from what they were and put them on eBay. I'll put that link down below. And also, Cindy has started a hobby of making beaded friendship bracelets out of hemp cord, and they're all adjustable, one size fits all. She asked me to throw a few of those up on Facebook, so if y'all want to support her new little project, you can see one of those on there. If it's already sold out, I'm gonna put 4 on there, but I'm not gonna put 4 links, but you'll be able to just click on if it's already sold, sellers other items, and you should be able to find the other bracelets. So thank you all very much. Hope you can see okay over there. That fence, they are replacing the rotted supports behind it, and then we're going to put a fresh coat of paint on it. I went to Home Depot Friday and bought 5-gallon of that paint. We've been finding a good bit of rotted wood around the campground, so got a little bit of extra budget money. We just redid the stairs at the rec hall. We redid some rotted wood that was on the dock, and now they are repairing and painting that fence, and they're going to repaint those other areas we fixed. You know, you got to let the wood sit for, you know, a couple weeks, let it dry out good, and then we'll put paint on it. So let's go to Chatsworth. This is the road coming out of the campground. We have asked, if you look up there, the low limbs, we have asked the township 4 times last year and 2 requests this year already to have them come trim this road up, and they have no desire to help. All they seem to want is the tax money. Here we are pulling into the big city of Chatsworth. It's about a 10 or 12 minute ride from the campgrounds. Cute little community. It's also the home of the Ocean Spray warehouse for the area. Cranberries are huge in this area, and blueberries, but there's actually an Ocean Spray warehouse receiving facility right here as you pull into Chatsworth. So I think it's kind of funny. The actual post office here is like a 1968 Fleetwood trailer. And right here it says Post Office Chatsworth. It looks kind of, it's got an air conditioner on it, like one of those old school buildings we would have at a school, but those are all double wides, and this is a single wide. Right here in downtown Chatsworth, there's the Chatsworth Elementary School right over there. There is a pen with horses in it. Let's go in the post office. So I'm talking about, it's just a single wide trailer, and for the last 3 weeks they have had no stamps. Effective immediately, we're not accepting bills for transactions under $10. So the post office doesn't even accept cash. Here's the inside. They've got boxes and a window. See what books they have for the giveaways. Leaving the post office, thought we would stop by and say goodbye to the horsies. They are eating and not paying me any attention. So they've got also down here the Franklin Parker Preserve, New Jersey Conservation Foundation. So it's a bunch of, it's a trailways that goes into the Pine Barrens. This is just down the road from the campground. We're back at the campground. It's amazing how well the seasonal sites available signs that I put up have done, and the propane sign when it comes to attracting people from the community to come and buy propane. It's just little advertising things that people haven't done here in the past that really seem to help the bottom line. And what I think a lot of the guests at the campground don't understand is if we can make more outside sales and cover, like on food, you know, for the snack shack, if we can cover operating expenses for the campground with ancillary income, propane sales, store sales, snack shack sales, and those sort of things, then we're able to keep the price down for like our seasonal sites and our camping sites. Everything has gotten so expensive that the prices are just going crazy on everything. Last year we were able to show an increase in sales throughout the campground, and we were able to not raise the seasonal sites. Now I doubt that will happen again this year. Our sales are down about 8%, but I think it has a lot to do with the economy. But overall, if I can continue to bring like the Happier Camper group from California out to the campground, if I can get people that don't stay in the park to come and buy our propane, if we can offer a more diverse menu in the snack shack. And like this year, we're doing delivery to your sites. Anything we can do to increase the ancillary income so the company does not, or the ownership doesn't have to go up on prices as much, that's a win-win for everybody. And it only really takes just a little bit of thinking outside of the box and hard work. So I know it's not appreciated, but I think it's because our guests don't understand what we're trying to do for them. In last week's vlog, we talked about turning the security shack into the mail room. There's the office, here's the front gate, here's the parking, so people are convenient. We even got a mailroom sign put up, and there's not hardly anything in here right now, but I think it's being better received than initial reports would have thought. But anyway, that is our new mailroom. Cleaned up nice, little curtains, got the light up, all is well. Let's check real quick and see how the fence repairs are coming. So they're putting new posts in the back, and hopefully next week we'll have, or this weekend we'll have all new paint on this fence. When we talk about ancillary income and things we're trying to do to keep the prices down at the campground, last year, this was the first big thing I did, is we created 10 storage sites down here. We filled another one this week with this XLR. So there's 7 up front and 3 behind the shop. And they rent from $75 to $100 a month. And the ones behind the shop are actually locked within the fenced area. And so it actually brings in, or has the potential to bring in, $12,000 a year of ancillary income. It's another way that we are trying to increase the income coming into the campground without putting the burden on the guest. So if y'all can think of other things we can do here in the campground, because our goal is to keep the seasonal prices as low as possible. I have nothing to do with the nightly and weekend sites. That's all set by a corporate office and a gentleman that's actually works remotely out of Wyoming, I think. But Cindy and I's main goal is to keep the campground as clean and updated as possible while coming up with ways to keep the prices low. Now, do I realistically think that the company is not going to raise the price on seasonal sites again this year? No, but we're trying to have as much impact as possible to keep that increase as low as possible. And I hope everybody appreciates that. So put in the comments what you think are some other things we can do for ancillary income that will help support the park without being a burden on our regular guest. So I talked about that we had some rotted wood. So this hand railing was in pretty bad shape. And so maintenance crew came and replaced the laundry room railing, and it'll be painted hopefully this week or next week. But that's another example of little things that you can do to dress up the campground and make it safer for the guest at a minimal cost. This is the area that we have our bands. There's a big fire pit out here. We have social gatherings, lots of tables. And one thing that we noticed is there's a lot of rotted wood around the campground. We can't fix it all this year, but these steps were becoming a safety issue. So They completely reconstructed the steps and made them nice and solid. Once they get painted, we'll repaint. We're redoing this deck up here also. Now, yes, I know that there is rotted wood on the outside of the rec hall. Rome was not built in a day, but I think as long as we keep taking little bites at the problems, that the campground will continue to improve in looks, functionality, and safety. Last year, we built this fence around the playground to keep the golf carts out and that sort of stuff. And we noticed over the weekend that evidently some kids or somebody had climbed on these two rails right here and snapped one of them in half. So this morning the guys got the fence fixed and it looks much better. Here's our geese. I hope you can see them. A mom, dad, and looks like 6 little gooselings all headed for the pond. These 4 cabins here at the end of the cabin area 22 through 25 or 22 through 25 is the lots that are the cabins that Happier Camper are going to rent, and then they have rented all of these riverfront sites for the weekend. I'm glad we got those trees out not long ago. Let's take a quick look. So these are the riverfront sites. I know y'all have seen them before. They are just the perfect size for these little scamp type campers to come in, and they are located right here on the Wading River. So I think it's going to be a beautiful scene for all these campers, and they should have a really nice rally. The other thing I wanted to show everyone is we've been working on the lily pads. We did get it's like a long boom with a blade on it, and if you can see right over there where looks like lily pads are missing, we played with it for about a half an hour on Saturday afternoon, and we're going to slowly start working on the pond. I know last year the seasonals were pretty upset with the number of lily pads in the pond. This is low on our priority list, but it is something we are trying to address this year. Now, one other place you can see, this was completely rotted out. This is our bridge / dock that goes over the pond. What started all this is there was a rotted board right here that actually somebody could put their foot through. So we came and replaced this, and we're going to paint all the railings here. We're going to replace any other rotted wood we see on this structure, but I think it's going to look nice. Let's see if we can see the area that we took the, you can see right over there, and then we started on this little area right here of removing a lot of the lilies. But we got to get after them because they are coming in strong. We've left the campground. Here I am. There Cindy is, and with her new pose. And we are at Pleasant Mills Farmers Market. This is where I get my local honey fix. We're off of regular sugars. We're not losing any weight, but we're off regular sugars. And I use honey as for my coffee and on my toast and that sort of stuff. So this is where I like to buy it locally.
Well, and the bread I made last week didn't have any sugar in it. It just.
How did you like your new bread machine?
I love my new bread machine. I've got to make.
We're gonna make cinnamon bread. So we're gonna stop here and get us some honey because we got Costco honey last time in plastic bottles.
Which drives you nuts.
Drives me nuts. And so we are going to get 1 or 2 jars of honey here.
Place to put flowers and stuff.
Yeah. I'm not going to decorate the site and do vegetables and stuff because I didn't have time to tend to it last year. But these are easy as pie. Says it right there on the label. So Harvey's is what I've been buying. They've got wildflower, blueberry honey, pine barrens honey. I usually get the wildflower or the clover. They've got sweet clover, cranberry. I think I'm going to try pine barren honey and a regular wildflower honey. And they have postcards here, Pine Barrens, New Jersey. I think I'll pick those up for our viewers that are members that get the postcard package. There's information down below if you hit the join button, and it'll tell you about that. But I'm gonna pick up some of those for our viewers. I have all kinds of flowers and peppers and vegetables and tomatoes. We love this little market. I was so glad when I rode by the other day, I saw they were just getting ready to open it. And I told Cindy when we came out this week, gosh, everything's gotten so expensive. $27 for flowers. Nice greenhouse. See anything you can't live without?
Well, we need to start doing our own herbs and stuff.
I wonder, we couldn't put them inside, the cats would eat them.
I know, here lies the problem.
We made it back to the campground. They have done a lot of work on the painting this fence. They got the side rails painted. They got that all scraped, and they got this first section down here all done, looking good. And then Nicole put up the welcome sign. This weekend we got Fab 50s weekend. Welcome Happier Campers Northeast Rally 2026. Very excited to have them join us at the campground. Hopefully they'll come back and visit us lots of times over the winter. So my understanding is some of the people live not far from the campground. Some are coming all the way from California. I don't know. We'll know more when they get here. I did not believe it, so I drove over here to look for myself. I had an employee point out that there's a sign, a Wading Pines Campground official sign that has someone squatting and pooping on it and talks about a fine for pooping. Here it is at the pond. That is crazy. It says, "We hope you enjoyed your stay with us and hope you are able to follow these guidelines regarding hazardous waste. If you choose to use a portable toilet in the cabin, you may be charged $250 and guests permanently banned from the park. Bags of human feces and urine are prohibited in the trash and on the grounds. You may be charged $250 and guests permanently banned from the park. The ground behind the cabin is not a restroom. Use will result in a $250 fee and guests permanently banned from the park. Used toilet paper is not acceptable. New Jersey State Code 26.3B-7. Y'all, what kind of people did we used to have camping at this campground if you have to put a sign on a tree that says, "Don't poop unless you're in the bathroom"? Oh my God, really? I will say this is a pretty sight. Look at all the stuff they've done here. He's even got a Tito's bottle watering the flowers, so maybe he's a Texas man, who knows. Cindy's still at the office. It is 5:15 and we've got a fun night planned. We're going to go out with Bernadette. That is our assistant manager, and as she calls him, Joe, her co-pilot. And then we're gonna go and we're gonna have Mike and Pam. Mike is our maintenance manager here, and Pam is his wife. We've known them all the way since our days of managing in Minnesota, where he was also the maintenance guy there. And then Cindy and I, we're going to go to a place, I don't know if it's new or not. If you're from the area, it's called the Patio, and it's in New Gretna. New Gretna is about 15 minutes maybe from the park. It's the next town from here towards Hamilton. We're going to go down there for dinner and possibly a glass of wine or a beer. So that'll be fun. So we're going to get out of the park twice today. What did you think about the sign that I've never seen before that is down by the pond about pooping? That was crazy. So I'm going to put all this together and try to get ready for our evening out. Thank y'all so much for joining us today and this week and supporting the channel. If you made it to the end, then thank you very much, and we will see you next week.